I wanted to circle back to the President's comments to Aaron Burnett earlier this month. I know you're saying major ground operation, but he didn't say major ground operation. When he was asked to clarify what his red lines were for withholding any sort of, or any U.S. weapons, he said Israel had not yet moved into population centers in Rafah. Yeah. Does the U.S. currently not consider the strike on Sunday to have hit in a population center? And how do you define a population center?
The President wasn't moving the stick anywhere. He was talking about major ground operations in Rafah proper, which is what we've been saying all along. And when he was referring to population centers, that's exactly what he was referring to. As I said in my opening statement, what happened on Sunday shows just how difficult military operations are in a densely populated area. And yes, of course, Rafah is a densely populated area.
I guess there's still, I mean, you have the President saying that he doesn't want, Israel to target any population center. We are seeing, I know you said tanks are moving along the corridor, but we are seeing tanks in Rafah. We've now seen strikes continue to kill civilians, including children.
Yeah.
Just for, an average American who's watching their taxpayer dollars go to this, can you explain to them how this isn't a major military operation? Or just maybe it would help to explain what is a major ground operation when it comes to the Biden administration.
I thought I already did that, but I'm happy to do it again. Now, first of all, I am not the IDF spokesman, and this is not Tel Aviv. This is the White House press briefing room. And I am not, today or any other day, going to take it upon myself to speak to Israeli military operations, the planning, the intent, and the tactics that they're using. You should be asking Admiral Hagari that question. He's the IDF spokesman, not me. What I will tell you is that what we have seen is essentially, so far, what the Israelis said they were going to do. They were going to close down the crossing to shut off the revenue to Hamas that comes across that crossing, at least for a while. And they were going to go after Hamas terrorists in as precise a way as possible, that they were not going to, quote unquote, smash into Rafah with a lot of ground forces. As you and I speak here today, that is still the case. We have not seen them smash into Rafah. We have not seen them go in with large units, large numbers of troops, in columns and formations, in some sort of coordinated maneuver against multiple targets on the ground. That is a major ground operation. We have not seen that. What we've seen is they have targeted tunnels. They have definitely done airstrikes. This one with tragic results, but not all of them with tragic results. And yes, they are moving some armored vehicles along a corridor on the outskirts of Gaza, along a corridor, by the way, that they told us they were going to use. So everything we're seeing, and we can't see everything, but everything that we can see tells us that they are not moving in a major ground operation in population centers in the center of Rafah. But as I also said in my opening statement, we're going to watch this hour by hour, day by day, and we will stay in touch with our Israeli defense counterparts about what they're doing.
There's been different numbers out there. Can you just clarify, does the U.S. have an accurate number of Palestinians that have fled Rafah, and how many displaced Palestinians are still in Rafah? And for the Palestinians that fled, just where are they? I mean, there's no safe place to go.
Let me go back and we'll get you some better numbers, the best I can. Most of the numbers that we're getting, though, again, we're not on the ground counting noses. So we have to rely on other sources, whether it's international organizations or the IDF. Roughly speaking, more than 1 million of the 1.5 million people that were seeking refuge, we estimate more than 1 million, have fled Rafah. Now again, to Nadi's question, where'd they go? I can't tell you every tent compound they went to and who's running that. I just can't do it. But there are several 100,000 that we still believe are in Rafah. However, I will take the question and we'll see if we can get a better sense of the numbers for you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. I just wanted to clarify an earlier answer where you were asked by someone in the front row about condemnation of what happened in Rafah. And my transcription of what you said is, we have been, I think, very strident in our condemnation about the deaths of innocent civilians. These deaths are not excluded from that. So you do condemn what happened in Rafah?
We certainly condemn the loss of life here, but there is an investigation going on, and we want to make sure that the Israelis have a chance to do that in a fair, transparent, credible way. Look, I know what you want me to say. I get it. There should be no civilians killed. I'm not going to stand up here and make an excuse for any single individual civilian being killed. There's no excuse for it. It should not happen. Now, it does happen in war. It happens sometimes deliberately, and sometimes it happens by tragic mistake. We will find out soon what was the case here on Sunday, and then we'll go from there. But no civilian casualty should be acceptable.
And what is the administration going to do, whether it was a tragic mistake or deliberate?
Well, let's see what the investigation says.
So you're going to wait for the Israelis to investigate
Let's
themselves?
see what the investigation comes up with. If we had done this, I think we would want the benefit of having the opportunity to investigate it and to figure out what happened.
But it's not the same thing. We're giving them billions of dollars in weapons.
We're giving them the kinds of capabilities they need to defend themselves. Maybe some people have forgotten what happened on the 7th of October, but we haven't. 1,200 Israelis, innocent Israelis, slaughtered, mutilated, raped, tortured. And they're living right next to that kind of threat. Still a viable threat in Rafah, by the way. If you think Hamas is just gone, they're not gone from Rafah or from Gaza. And if you think they've abandoned their genocidal intent towards the nation of Israel, think again, they haven't. So Israel has every right to not want to live next to that kind of threat. And yes, we're going to continue to provide them the capabilities to go after it.